So, you're planning a trip to India? That is amazing. But before you start highlighting your guidebook, let's talk about the real survival tips. The stuff they don't always tell you. The on-the-ground advice that's going to make your trip so much smoother and, honestly, a lot more fun.
So let's dive right in. Because beyond all the incredible monuments and sites, there's this whole other layer of insider knowledge, you know? It's these small things that can genuinely make or break your day-to-day experience. And listen, what we're about to get into, this isn't just some random list of travel hacks you'd find anywhere. This is different.
This advice comes straight from someone who actually lives there. These aren't just tips for tourists. These are the actual daily habits he uses to navigate life in India. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with some simple everyday habits. Then we'll get into mastering money and that intense Indian heat. After that, we are tackling the smart way to approach food, and we'll finish up with a super important emergency plan. First up, let's talk about the little things. These habits might seem kind of minor, but trust me, they add up and make for a much more comfortable and hassle-free trip. Okay, picture this. It's a hot day, you're on the street, and you grab a nice cold drink. Simple, right? But here's the thing. Where do those cans get stored? A lot of the time, it's in dusty, kind of grimy stockrooms. And you really don't want to be putting your mouth on that. So the fix, as you can see, is ridiculously easy. Step 1, always, and I mean always, have some tissues or wet wipes on you. Step 2, before you even think about taking a sip, just give the top of that can a good, solid wipe. It's a tiny bit of effort that could literally save you from getting sick. All right, next up, your shoes. India can be a beautifully dusty country, which is part of its charm. But after just one day of exploring, your shoes can look like you've walked through a desert. And this isn't just about looking a little messy. If you just let that dust build up day after day, it'll set in and can totally ruin your shoes. So the trick is the simple nightly ritual. Just grab a damp cloth and give them a quick wipe down. It takes, 30 seconds, and it keeps them looking great for your entire trip. Okay, next, let's tackle two of the biggest daily challenges you are going to face: money and the intense Indian climate. Oh, this slide shows a classic travel problem. You hit an ATM and it spits out a big 2,000 rupee note. You feel rich, right? Well, it's often a huge headache because so many small vendors just can't make change for it. The real pro tip, as you see on the right, is to stick to 500 and 100 rupee notes. Those are golden. They're accepted everywhere, no problem. Now, for the heat. And we are talking about serious heat. 40 degrees Celsius is a scorching 104 degrees Fahrenheit. This isn't just a bit warm today. This is the kind of intense heat that will drain your energy faster than you can imagine. So what's the secret weapon? It's not just about drinking tons of water. It's ORS, which stands for oral rehydration salts. You can find these little packets in any pharmacy, and they're super cheap. You just mix one into a bottle of water, and it replenishes all the essential salts and electrolytes you're sweating out. This stuff is an absolute game changer. Okay, let's talk about what's often the best part of traveling in India, and also, let's be real, the part that's potentially the riskiest: the food. It's the classic traveler's dilemma, isn't it? You see all this incredible street food, the smells are just amazing, and you want to dive right in. But there's always that little worry in the back of your mind that one bad bite could ruin a whole week of your trip. But you don't have to gamble. The pro move, as the slide lays out, is to stick to places that are clean and busy. Popular local restaurants filled with people. You'll get like 90% of that authentic flavor with much, much higher hygiene standards, and your risk of getting sick just plummets. It's the smartest trade-off you can make. All right, our last section. This is the tip you hope you never, ever have to use, but it is absolutely critical that you know it. What happens if you get really sick? The advice here is crystal clear, so listen up. If you need medical care, you must go to a private hospital. The quality of care is good and, just as importantly, English is widely spoken. You simply cannot risk dealing with language barriers or varied standards you might find somewhere else. So remember, private hospital every single time. It's non-negotiable. So let's do a quick fire recap of your new Street Smart checklist. You ready? 1. Wipe every can. 2. Clean your shoes every night. 3. Stick to those smaller 100 and 500 rupee notes. 4. Drink ORS in the heat. 5. Eat at clean, busy restaurants. And 6. If you get sick, you go straight to a private hospital. With these practical tips in your back pocket, you're not just another tourist. You're a prepared, savvy traveler. You're ready to handle the little things so you can focus on the big adventure. So the only question left is, what amazing part of India are you going to experience first?